Hello everybody, I am out here at Boca Chica, just 3 miles away from here. I'm not at SpaceX Boca Chica, just right near the river. What I wanted to come out here and do today was tell you and explain to you the real reason behind the FAA delays. Now, as you know, there has been 3 delays. What the delays have to do with this is there's 2 consultations that haven't been finished. Consultations means the main agencies that need to finish before they give a decision to the FAA. Now, one has finished, which is NOAA, National Marine Fisheries Service. That one was complete easily. The main 2 that need to be completed is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is what all this is about out here. And Section 106, which is historical figures, historical markers. Those 2 consultations are basically the main reasons behind the 3 delays. You could say that it's about Jeff Bezos, you could say it's about SLS, you could say it's about politics, but these 2 are the main ones that did cause these 3 delays. The original timeline to complete this environmental assessment for Boca Chica was December 31st, right? December 31st. Then it got delayed to February 28th. Then it got delayed to March 28th. And then it got delayed to April 29th. I know you're all pretty tired of that, but the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Section 106 is the main reason it's being delayed. And it's a good thing because the FAA and SpaceX are trying to get this approved. That's why they're giving them more time, it appears. Giving them more time to complete it. If those 2 consultations, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Section 106, are done, which are supposed to be done on April 22nd, a Friday, and after they're complete on that day, marked complete on that day, then the environmental assessment is clearly on its way to being complete for a decision announced on April 29th. If those 2 consultations are complete. Now, I want to talk about the recent news about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers denying SpaceX's expansion permit for the launch site. SpaceX applied for the permit in March 2021. With an expiration date of the permit on April 21st, 2021. They applied the permit way too early. They needed the environmental assessment documents, which they started the environmental assessment June 2021 and released the draft in September 2021. So obviously, of course, the permit was going to get withdrawn, canceled. They could still apply for another permit. They just need the information from the environmental assessment, it looks like. The permit doesn't affect the environmental assessment for orbital launches, for the first orbital pad. It's just about the second pad that is on the marshlands, and it can still be approved. site with just one launch pad, and then they could expand later on with the second pad if they want to. I'm hearing that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is asking for a permit to approve the site, it seems. Both. It's confusing. Where you heard this from is from a person called ESG Hound, and that's how all this U.S. Army Corps of Engineers news spreads so quickly. He thinks that it's a bad thing that the permit was withdrawn and they're not going to approve the site. Maybe, but I don't think so. If the permit has to do with both pads, SpaceX would have already applied for a permit. Probably get approved of the permit so the environmental assessment could get approved. That's what the ESG Hound is saying, which I don't think he is. He thinks he's right. People do kind of believe him. He predicted the Raptor 2 engine dying, which it hasn't really. Musk himself saying this 39 is going to be made. He predicted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department of the Interior dropping the gauntlet on SpaceX Boca Chica, which if they did, the FAA would have said something already. He predicted the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers withdrawing a permit from SpaceX being a bad thing and saying there's not going to be any launches from here until 2024. Well, what do you mean? If you think that's not going to happen, the FAA would have said something. It would have said, no, we decided not to let you launch out here at all. Now let me go back to the original completion date to the FAA's environmental assessment. If the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Section 106, the historical figures markers, if they would have not like SpaceX to do what they want to do out here, is launch the Starships to Gravity and build the pads, they would have said no on December 31st, 2021. They would have said no right away. So that explains the delays. That explains the delays. SpaceX and the FAA are trying to still work with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in Section 106 to get this approved. I don't think this is going to be a full-on finding no significant impact just by itself. Since they're delaying this and trying so hard to get it approved, I think it's going to be a mitigated finding of no significant impact. To avoid, which means to avoid an environmental impact statement, which takes 2 or 3 years. So, believe what you want to believe. Well, why they're delaying all this SpaceX and its expansion. Why they're delaying Starship? They're not delaying Starship. If they're delaying Starship, what? They still need a test. SpaceX still needs time to test the booster, to test 33 engines also. They can't fire the 33 engines on the booster yet because it needs to get approved. The FAA and SpaceX have to work together to get approved for that, testing those 33 engines. Right now, they're just doing crowd proof and all that, as you know, I've been watching. But that's what is causing the delays. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Section 106, which was clearly heard to have adverse effects, and I think they're working their way to be mitigating things. if there's another delay, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry. Starship still has time. Even if SLS launches first, Starship's gonna do even better. It's gonna do even better than SLS. Keep you occupied with having historical launches. But person ESG Hound, you could believe him or not, but he's been wrong. He's been wrong. And he's just been predicting things. It took me a while to figure that out, that he's been predicting things. And he himself said that the site could get approved and do the expansion later. But now he's kind of saying, no, I did not say that. I did not say that. He said that. He said that, and now he's just fighting back what he just said about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That spread fast of what he said. Please. I would rather believe the FAA than him. He's an interesting person. I would rather believe the FAA though than him. He's predicting things. He's predicting things. He's wrong. What I think the site will get is a mitigated finding with no significant impacts. That's what I think. But there will be some regulations with that. So that's all I had to say about all this SpaceX news and SpaceX Boca Chica doom and gloom. ESG Hound. Hell. Please. Be careful what you read about them. Believe the professionals, not him. He thinks he's a professional. He kind of talks like one. It's interesting to look at him, what he's actually talking about. His stuff spreads quick, so take his stuff with a grain of salt. Okay? Believe the FAA, not him. Again, believe the FAA, not him. So, if you want to find out the consultations that need to be completed, I'll give you a link to the site of what needs to be completed with the dominoes, the final dominoes that need to be fallen before a decision is made. Again, April 22nd, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Section 106 historical figures finish on the same day. Now, if they finish on the same day, we're on our way. We're on our way to being completed, okay? If they don't finish that day, and they're delaying their schedule 1 or 2 days, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So, believe whatever you want to believe about these delays. I'm Piranha, just kind of keeping calm and relaxing and watching all this testing going on. It's just good. So I'll see you guys next time. So see you later.